Hello, greetings. So this reading is going to be for this spring. We have our spring equinox this Tuesday, Wednesday. So refreshing, so good for the fullness of sun to finally return. So I just want to take a moment and ask for the highest channel of truth, asking for wisdom, and asking for the support of all of the divine beings, angels, and masters, saints that support humanity's healing, wholeness, and ascension. And for this message to be a transmission of truth, of light, of wisdom, and love for all of those during this spring season. So it is. I don't know about you, but this is one of my favorite times of the year, and it has been so nice to open the windows and let the air move through my home, and to be out in the sun and have some things are already blossoming. And as I say that, I'm just curious if you've reflected on what's blossoming inside of you. What have you brought through the winter, and have you taken time to open the windows of your home, both in the physical realm as well as opening yourself up, opening up yourself, your soul, to allow just time for presence, to experience the moment, and to let life move through you more effortlessly. And in that way, to clear out debris, dust, and things lingering in the dark and the shadows. It's very esoteric, but if you know me, that's kind of my language. So the will of God is not a God outside of you. It is simply the God that you are. Surrendering to the will of your own divinity is a divine grace to bestow upon yourself. So this prayer came to me when I was recently at Lake Atitlan in Guatemala. Was, show me the God that I am. Show us the God that we are. And if that feels helpful for you, I encourage you to adopt it as part of your ritual and your prayer and your meditations. The will of God is not a God outside of you. It is simply the God that you are. And we come to understand God by understanding ourselves, as we are the creation and manifestation of the One. Meditation is the highest state. It is the return to the root of your being, the simple awareness of being aware. The spiritual journey is one of constant transformation. To grow, you must give up the struggle to remain the same and learn to embrace change at all times. And this is what we see every season, is that there is an organic movement towards change. And is there somewhere that you're maybe more rigid with yourself, that you are restraining and resisting change? You know, this tends to be places where we may need to adopt. I can tell you for a fact that what we are putting in our body needs to change every season. It's just the law of attraction of the energy of the season. So where are you maybe resisting some of that change? Maybe you're attached to eating certain things or eating at certain times. Check in and notice, does that actually nourish you? Or is that something that is deterring you, that's holding you back, that is clogging you up? And then looking at your practices, your spiritual practices. You know, maybe you've gone away from them. Maybe it's time to come back. Or perhaps you've gone away because that practice isn't serving you the way that it used to? Is it time to adopt something different? It's a great time to learn. It's a wonderful time to learn in the spring. So notice what is holding you back from transforming into the highest form of yourself, and what is preventing you from being able to stay present or be present with yourself, to be present with God, and to be present with God as yourself, to have those moments of clarity. If we are taking in too much information, if we are taking in or giving our time away too much and not reserving a time of devotion, then how can we ever get to know God? How can we get to know ourselves? Meditation is the highest state. It is the return to the root of your being, the simple awareness of being aware. And this is the way of awakening and of transcendence, of liberation. This is the way of presence. We must practice it. Prayer is very important in our process of becoming aware, but it must be balanced with meditation. If we're always in the active state, in the yang energy, the masculine energy of doing, then we weaken the ability to be aware to the message. We're praying for something, we're asking for something, or we're giving thanks for something. Well, if we can't hear the other end, there's an imbalance between the masculine and the feminine. There's an imbalance in the polarity of receptivity and giving. So check in. Where are you in that balance? And what things, what rituals and practices and situations, people, what is distorting and preventing that transformation and coming into balance, into homeostasis? So this is going to be a shorter reading than what I do with the lunar cycles. We're just going to really make this strong and clear with just a 4-card reading. Uluka Bahana, grace of she who rides the owl. What does this mean? I'm not sure. I don't see this card often. It's very, very pretty though. I love. Grace of she who rides the owl. You know, the owl represents our ability to see through the darkness, to see with accuracy. So that Ajna chakra, insight, vision, intuition. I am the goddess of spiritual awakening, wealth, and balance. I come to correct adharma, that which is dark, unnatural, and against nature, life, love, and goodness. I redress the misuse of wealth and power. I awaken the heart to the vision of light and truth that was once hidden. Trust in the innocence of your soul and fear not, for I am ever watchful, and my grace brings truth. Divine justice is always brought to bear with compassion. So I get a little tip into the collective around this. There's a lot happening in the world economic situation. A lot of financial instability, that we're getting a lot of signs of the impending change. And in this feels good for me, and just hearing that this is a part of the laws of the universe working in favor of harmony and balance. There are extreme corrupt systems within the economic realms in our world, and there's a lot of darkness. There is a lot of corrupt and evil, maleficent motivation that is trying to shift our whole global system through economic control. So as I read this, I'm receiving that grace and that trust in this process, that knowing that it can be scary and that we have to listen to our intuition. We have to make that time to meditate. There is nothing more precious or valuable than your time with God and you recognizing yourself as a part of God, as an emanation and an emissary of the one true living light. So I'm just going to read this part again. I awaken the heart to the vision of light and truth that was once hidden. Trust in the innocence of your soul and fear not, for I am ever watchful, and my grace brings truth. Divine justice is always brought to bear with compassion. So whatever may come of the financial transition that we are in, it is to bring about revelation. It is to deliver the awakening of the occult ties. So the hidden ties, the gnosis, the hidden wisdom that has been behind and motivated a lot of what's happened in the last 2 to 3 years. And even further back than that. But, for most people, that's like what is in our line of sight right now. So as things change and develop, there is the remembrance of what is most important. When you start to feel you're wavering, when you start to feel that you're shifting, that things feel unstable, come back to meet God, come back to meet yourself, check in, make time. There is nothing more important than that. There's no finances more important than that. There is no person more important than that. That has to come first, and only from that can you be delivered from your own delusions and illusions that contribute to the suffering, the distortion, and the destruction of the world. So first and foremost, meditation is the highest state. It is the return to the root of your being, the simple awareness of being aware. The spiritual journey is one of constant transformation. So this is a natural part of the process. Even though there is inorganic facilitation, there are people who are trying to, and there are agendas that are trying to create an imbalanced system, a system, another enforcement of slavery, that it in itself is a part of the transformation. Our job is to be in alignment with truth so that we can see through it, so that we can actually break through it, and we don't become a part of the problem because we're not aware of the truth within ourselves. To grow, you must give up the struggle to remain the same and learn to embrace change at all times. So when things change, we get triggered, our nervous system goes into fight or flight, fall and freeze, and we have to be able to self-regulate. We have to be able to acknowledge when we start to go into into the sympathetic nervous system reaction, and be able to come back to ourselves, come back to God, and self-regulate. And when we can do that, when we can be in that practice, then we cannot be manipulated through fear. We cannot be manipulated to be a victim, but we can become empowered to empower others and to empower ourselves through making conscious decisions from a place of love rather than from fear, which when we make choices from fear is from the reptilian brain. It's survival based, and oftentimes it's actually not what is going to take us in a helpful direction. And it certainly won't do that collectively, and we've seen that within the last year. That has been a test to see what is our pulse, what is our connection with God in the last couple of years, and how much do we trust? How much do we even recognize when we're out of alignment and we're not trusting and we're impulsively just doing out of the fear of and the motivation of self-preservation? Don't waste your valuable time and energy worrying about people getting away with things. On a cosmic level, there is only justice. That is not always visible at a human level. And yet that doesn't preclude divine order unfolding. So this means that it may look like people are getting away with stuff. It may look like a situation is out of hand and that you're on the wrong end of it. We have to trust in the divine order of things. We don't have the ability, the foresight to be able to see the unfolding, the laws of karma at work. But we can trust that. And the practice in itself of going, you know what, that felt really unfair, or this situation is really unfair, or how dare them. If we can stop and go, okay, I don't want to spin out into that story, because then I'm actually contributing. I'm empowering that. Like when we start to allow the emotional charge to be directed at whatever the situation is, even if we think it's unfair and it's all of these things, that's actually supporting it. So we have to become aware enough that we start to go into the stories and navigate ourselves out of it and go, okay, God, higher self, whatever that divine structure is for you, that greater power is for you. You say, okay, this is how I'm feeling. Okay, you can state how you feel without being attached to your story about it. Okay, this is how I'm feeling. I release this to you and know that you are wise and all-knowing, omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. And I thank you for delivering justice. I thank you for delivering balance. I thank you for the polarity. And not needing to tell God how to handle it. Like we tend to ask very specifically, which can be helpful for some things. But if we're like, I need you to make sure that these people, these people get what they deserve, and what they deserve is this, and let go of that. Okay, that's not helpful. That's not helping you. It's not helping the situation. You can give it over. Like you actually don't have to put any effort or concern into the way that justice will be delivered. That's the beautiful grace of it, is that we actually don't have to be in charge of that. And what a gift to not have to be in charge of the way that things should work themselves out. So watch yourself in that. Everything is balanced by karma in the long run. Everything is balanced by karma in the long run. This is the law of the universe. This is what keeps things in balance and harmony. If you feel down or depressed, take immediate action to reconnect to joy. Reconnect healing energy and vitality of spirit. All things are measured and metered by clear divine vision, and your job is to put your faith in the work of the divine, whilst you tend to your own journey and trust and commit. You are meant to be a light in this world. And it is important that you allow a higher spiritual intelligence to support you in whatever task is at hand. Safeguarding your state of mind is essential for you to accomplish your life purpose. And if you get caught up in negative thinking, as may happen from time to time, allow your heart wisdom to guide you back to the truth of your inner light. Remember that the divine is more powerful than any nightmare created by human darkness. You don't have to deny the dark side of human nature. or its manifest consequences for the health of the planet. But you do need to keep yourself secure within the light so that you can effectively fulfill your destiny. Joy, happiness, and peace will not diminish your motivation to serve love. Rather, they will ensure you have enough energy to do so effectively. How does this feel to you? This feels very clear to me that, as with every season of life, we encounter a need to change. We encounter the process of change, which presents challenges. We have to become aware of our attachments. We have to be willing to have faith, to trust our process, to let go, also to begin again. And spring that's what this is. This is new beginnings. This is flowerings and blossoming, and it can be incredibly beautiful and challenging. But just like the seed has to effort to push out of the ground so that it can meet the light of day and begin to grow, so too do we have this same process, this breakthrough to where we find the light. And as you watch a tree or any plant, it grows towards the light. So if you keep your gaze, that inner gaze, engaged with the divine, engaged with God through meditation and prayer, balanced meditation and prayer, then the waverings of the world around you cannot shake your stability. There will be time to time where you may feel off track. You just come back. This is what meditation is. It's noticing yourself wandering, and you come back, and you come back, and you come back. We always come back. That's the practice. Love can conquer anything, even karma. Through divine grace and mercy, we can call upon unconditional love to cleanse, purify, and assist us in all ways. May divine love flow through you to manifest the will of Spirit in the world. May all beings who have become lost in darkness be mercifully guided back into the light of divine love through the grace of Spirit. And so be it. I'm praying that this reading touched your heart. Please like, share, subscribe if you want more, and share this with others. Share this with others that may need to be reminded of the medicine of the spring equinox. Even when things appear terrible, they appear unjust, there is a greater cosmic force that is enforcing justice and balance and harmony. And our part is to be in alignment and conscious of it. Whatever we are focused on, we deliver our energy to. If we focus on the injustice of it, we empower those forces. If we focus on the goodness and the granting of justice that always prevails, that supersedes all of human directives and manipulations. If we focus on that, then we empower that, we align with that, and we attract that. Many blessings to you all. Keep it pure and stay simple. Pura vida.